When I was younger, a lot of things were absolutely black and white, but now there's a big area of grey.
I didn't know anything about philosophy. So what are these questions? Okay, now I'm in a field where these guys are talking about what I wanted to know about.
It's often said that what is the hardest thing to do is to communicate with other people. You might not realize this when you're 20, but when 30 onwards or wherever, you start realizing that shit, you don't actually have that many good people around you. And whatever you manage to communicate to any other human being, it's just more than, it's worth weight in the weight of gold, really. Because words always seem to fail you to an extent, and it's so hard to communicate what you really wanted to say to someone. You might feel shy, and you might be afraid as well. But even if you get the chance to try and, without any other inhibitions, to communicate something to another person about your feelings or whatever it could be, that's when, at least for me personally, that has always been very hard. You can always, it seems like you can only get an approximation, but to communicate the whole feeling that you had is so difficult. And so you almost need to give this idea and you pass it to another person and hope that they can catch it and read between the lines and get the picture of what you were trying to say, what you were as a human being. And so that comes down to then being at the frontier where communication breaks down. We don't have the knowledge. We don't have the words to describe these things. They're undescribable. We're trying to talk about that which is not. And so that's really, to me, like really created that sort of feeling that you want to be a part, if possible, at least in my kind of romantic landscape of my mind, where if you could even communicate a little bit of something new, you'd belong almost into a community. You'd become immortal in that sort of sense. You'd contributed something, and that idea would live. Ideas live forever, but men die. Can you apply yourself? An application is a very important question to me on a personal level, on like a note of happiness, where it's to do with the certain sort of image I've got. Okay, I've got this image all the time in my head. I'm 75. I'm brushing my teeth, and I'm the sort of person, at least I don't know about you, but who, when I brush my teeth, I always look at the mirror. So I'm looking at the mirror, I'm brushing my teeth. And so you can't run from yourself. You can run from other people. You can tell lies, or you can, whatever. You can live alone and you can be a hermit, but you're always confronted by yourself. You can't lie to yourself. And if you're brushing your teeth at 75, you're thinking, wow, I'm 75. Well, I just still feel like 20. Where did all the time go? Well, yeah, well, I did this and that, but yeah, I didn't really apply myself ever to anything. I didn't commit myself. And to me, that's a big personal crisis, or an ongoing crisis all the time. It's a question about if you can apply yourself, and even if you didn't have fun doing it, is it still worth more than just having fun in life, but not doing anything? Just kind of like drinking all the weekends, doing a menial job that you don't give a shit about, and just not kind of doing what, like using your talents. If you felt like you had a talent, that's a great regret that a lot of people, older people, always will tell you, is that, or at least I've found, is that they will tell you, well, I wish back at uni I studied philosophy. That's so many people say that to me. Or I wish I put up my own business. I had this great idea, but I was too afraid. And that's the biggest fear I've got, that I was too afraid. And application is about that. Are you too afraid to see yourself through the hard times? Will you give up? And that's a tough question.